We're here with head women's basketball coach Thad Sankey. Coach, thanks for your time today. Doing a CIT preview video here, getting everyone pumped up. A lot of excitement here on campus, ready to head out west to the friendly confines of Seward, Nebraska, a place that you're familiar with. That we'll talk a little bit down the road here, but just kind of give us a start. Just to start us off, just kind of talk about maybe some of the good memories you have being a player and a coach, former Concordia, Nebraska player. Just some of the CIT memories you have over the years.
Well, Concordia Invitational Tournament is one of the best experiences that our players will have in their four-year career. You know, it happens every single year. It's competitive. Some of the best crowds, the environments, the game environments, and just the noise levels are awesome. And then also, you know, competing and really having pride be that number one factor. Yes, we want to play well, but we want bragging rights too, and we want to know that we brought it and that we performed well, and as a team, you know, we really played together as a group. So yeah, a lot of good memories. You know, my freshman year we played at Ann Arbor, and that was the first one that I was at, and it's funny even walking through our facility every single day. Every once in a while, some of those CIT memories come back. You know, we won an overtime game against Wisconsin, and it was just really neat experience, and you can see how that sticks with us. So we're looking forward to this weekend. We know that our girls will play great, and hopefully we can make some more of those memories.
Good. If someone hasn't been to a CIT before, or maybe heard about it, you know, I think it's year 65 or 66 this year. What would you say makes this tournament different from just, you know, the classic at Roosevelt, or, you know, I think it's the second longest running tournament to the NIT. What makes it so special and such you know, rich traditions and all of those things that maybe if you haven't been a part of it, you know, you kind of slowly start gaining appreciation for it, and you know, just talk about some of those things that go into it.
Well, I think what makes it different is the tradition of it. You know, historically we have, you know, a lot of these same teams. We see each other every single year. We don't see each other for the majority of the time, and then one weekend in January we're there battling it out, you know, for first place. I think that's what makes it so different. You know, you hear a lot of things about the camaraderie and having Concordias together. Like, let's be honest, everybody wants to win. You know, that's why we go play, and that's why we compete, and that's, you know, as a team, that's what our goal is too, is to play well enough that we can win, and be successful, and keep our team building and moving in the right direction.
Talk a little bit about your opponent. First matchup here will be against Concordia Chicago. You guys faced them last year in the consolation game, but now we'll kick off the tournament Friday afternoon against Concordia Chicago. We'll talk a little bit about preparation for them and kind of what you can expect to see maybe based off of last year's game.
Well, Chicago just plays tough all the time, and they show so many different pressures and are great. I guess a similarity that both of our teams have is we turn our opponents over and creating, you know, turnovers and traditionally Chicago does it out of a bunch of different defensive looks and switches up stuff, and so that's what we expect. You know, we expect their looks to change. We expect them to be really strategic in how they do it, and they play hard. So Coach Rogers has a lot of good players over there and great kids, and we expect them to really be competitive Friday.
Good. And on the other side of the bracket, you play either the winner or the loser of Concordia, Wisconsin, and Concordia, Nebraska. Again, two good teams that you've seen here and there over the years. A little bit probably more familiar with Concordia, Nebraska, having used to coach with Coach Olson there. Talk about, you know, their programs and what you can expect to see from them.
Well, the best thing about it is we get to wait till Friday night to figure it out, and there's always prep. There's always you know, just a little work ahead of time to prepare for each opponent. We find out Friday night who we play Saturday, and so many times for a second game of a back-to-back, you know, and we experienced it in our Chicago tournament this Christmas. So many times in the second game of back-to-back, it's just about being ready to play and being ready to compete and being ready to just bring some passion and energy to the game, so that, you know, as a team we can push ourselves over the hump. So we'll see. You know, we'll see Friday night. We play the early game, and then we get a chance to kind of sit back and see who our Saturday opponent is.
You mentioned the Chicago trip and kind of all the things that go into kind of the team building and camaraderie and all that stuff. Usually, you know, that takes place at a Christmas tournament or maybe kickoff tournament. Having CIT kind of smack dab right in the middle of the season. You know, you still have a heart of the conference season left. Quick turnaround with Davenport next week. Just kind of talk about some of those moments as a team to be able to, you know, fly out there. You have the banquet. You know, you kind of got a little bit more extracurricular stuff than just playing basketball. Talk about some of those opportunities there for the girls and the team to continue to grow together in the middle of the season like this.
Yeah, it's neat, and I guess, you know, Kyle, that's part of the tradition piece. You know, asking about what makes the Concordia Invitational Tournament different. That tradition piece, you know, as players, sometimes we lump the whole weekend in together and just say, well, it's just CIT weekend. Well, yeah, there are, you know, that breakfast is a cool thing to do. Being together, anytime that we have a road trip, being together and spending time, that's fun. You know, traveling with our guys team and you know, understanding that we're representing our university that way. That's a cool experience too. So I guess those are kind of the peripheral things that go into the weekend. That's part of what builds our team. That's part of how our girls form connections. You know, we've got a lot of things to do, and we've prepped our non-conference schedule, kind of leading up and preparing us for this weekend, where the previous non-conference games we've played back-to-backs. You know, we played back-to-backs in November, we played a back-to-back in December, now we have a back-to-back in January, and part of that was figuring out what works the best for us to turn around from Friday night to Saturday and play so that we can be ready.
Good. Well, we're looking forward to a fun weekend, Coach. Thanks for your time today. Again, head coach Thad Sankey kicking off CIT preview here, facing Chicago on Friday afternoon, first round of the CIT tournament. Thanks for your time today, Coach. Good luck this weekend. Head coach Thad Sankey.